After a 2-year investigation, the Justice Department concludes the Minneapolis Police Department has systemic problems that led to the 2020 murder of George Floyd. Jeff Pegues has more on the new findings.
More than 3 years after the murder of George Floyd at the hands of former police officer Derek Chauvin, Attorney General Merrick Garland said systemic abuses by police led to his death.
We found that the Minneapolis Police Department routinely uses excessive force, often when no force is necessary.
Floyd was killed after being placed in a neck restraint, something the report says was too common, and sometimes used in situations that did not end in an arrest. An analysis of 19 police shootings over 6 years found that officers shot at people without first determining whether there was an immediate threat. As an example, investigators cited the murder of Justine Damon in 2017, who reported to police a possible sexual assault. When they showed up, she approached and was shot by an officer because he was, quote, spooked.
What do we want to
The report concluded that black citizens experienced 24% more uses of force than white people, and that the MPD disproportionately stops black and Native American people. The city's new police chief promised a new approach.
We will change the narrative around policing in this city.
Some activists have doubts about that. Do you believe them?
No, I don't.
Why not?
They've had so many chances to do better. They have put forward lots of statements, lots of policy changes, and lots of promises, but those have been broken promises.
CBS News Chief National Affairs and Justice Correspondent Jeff Pegues joins us now. Jeff, how will the Minneapolis Police Department address the new findings?
Well, Catherine, they say that they've already been making changes since George Floyd's murder, but now with the federal government watching, they're going to have to make more changes. In fact, this scathing report officially begins the process of negotiating with the Department of Justice on how best to move forward with these reforms. So that starts now. It could and is likely to eventually go to a courtroom where it will be official. And so we're getting to the point now where these negotiations are underway with the Department of Justice in terms of making lasting changes here to the police department in Minneapolis.
So I just want to dig down a little further on something you said. You said there are some changes already in place. What does that look like?
Well, some of the changes that they've addressed deal with traffic stops. In fact, a lot of the issues the Department of Justice pointed out stem from some of these traffic stops. What they've tried to do here is minimize the threshold or in fact, raise the threshold for some of these traffic stops, because in the past, they've seen where traffic stops have quickly escalated into something that they didn't need to be. So you have changes there. You also have changes in the type of discipline that is now happening within the department. In the past, there have been these accusations that there have been violations by police officers and no discipline to follow that up. And now they believe the more discipline you have, the more reform you bring to a police department in terms of the kinds of tactics that are used.
And in our final few seconds, will these findings have an impact beyond Minneapolis?
They likely will. You recall that after the report on Ferguson, Missouri, where Michael Brown was shot and killed, there was a similar report that had a major impact on the Ferguson Police Department, reforms that are in place to this day. And so when you have this kind of report from the Department of Justice, it is likely that other departments across the country will read it and, of course, make changes within their departments as well, or at least that's what's hoped.
Jeff Pegues, thank you for your reporting from Minneapolis.